Neutral Zone here, and we have our final video of the summer scouting series where we're just kind of touching up on some of the guys that we expect to be some of the superstars in the NFL draft next year and good players in college this year. So today we have the DBs, mixture of corners and safeties, and yeah, there's some good players at the top of, I'd say, both groups. I'd say overall it's really deep. I think corner has a lot of really good guys. Safety has a bunch of guys that I think are going to be really solid, like day 2 and day 3 players, like a lot of them.
Hmm.
But overall, there's some notable players, and a lot of people think that some of these guys, especially one of them on this list, is one of the best players in college football. So,
Hmm.
it'll be fun to kind of get into this today. How you doing, bro? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a while since we did our last video.
Yeah,
We kind of had some scheduling conflicts. A lot of them were my fault, so we're finally getting this one out. But it'll be fun. We're doing both safeties and corners. Originally, we were just going to do corners to start, but because we kind of got behind, we're doing both now. So it's going to be fun. We're going to do, I think I have 6 of each. Cam has about the same. Um,
yeah.
I might have a few more safeties so I can talk about those, but yeah, we for the most part we have the same players and we're gonna have some fun talking about them. So
Yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a good video. See, it feels like to me corners and say, I mean, corners are always important, but it feels like safeties just keep getting drafted higher and higher.
yeah,
With like Caleb Downs and Thieneman, I feel like usually not even one goes in the first round, maybe 10 years ago, but now there's 2, 3 almost, and these positions are getting more and more premium. It feels like so. No, it's gonna be fun to get into this.
yes sir.
Yeah, do you want to just start going down the list of corners, do safeties in the second half?
Yeah, totally down for that.
All right, and should we start with Mr. Moore himself,
Let's
or
start. Let's start with the big name. Let's do Leonard.
so Leonard Moore? Break it down basically for you guys. If you don't know who he is, if you're living under a rock, is the corner out of Notre Dame. Going into the draft next year, he will be around 21 years old. He's 192 pounds, 6'2", and runs a reported 4.45 40. And on PFF, he posted a 91.8 grade, 92.5 coverage grade. And in the 2024 class, he was a 4-star, 432nd player. I know a lot of sites had him as a 3-star. That's kind of like the big story with him. But even on 24/7's composite, he's barely cracking that 4-star ranking. So kind of surprising that in his he's already this good of a player after
Hmm.
being that for Notre Dame. But yeah, what did you think about Leonard Moore, man?
Man, I mean, the hype is real and it is warranted for me. Leonard Moore
Yeah,
is an extremely highly progressed prospect already. I mean, he's only played 2 years, but he has already played almost 1,400 snaps. So he was a day one starter at Notre Dame. And I mean, from the get go, he's been elite. He's locked down in both zone and man. He has great change of direction. Has really good pursuit, and it makes it really hard for wide receivers to break away from him.
yeah,
Like I said, sticky in man coverage, great ball hawk skills. He had 5 interceptions and 7 PBUs this last season, along
crazy.
with 1 forced fumble. So a turnover machine. Yeah, I mean he's just your textbook NFL cornerback prospect. He's got good size. He's 6'2", 195 pounds, a little bit underweight, but not horrible. I mean, he's about average for weight, but he's got really good length. And he's only 20 years old. He'll be 21 on draft day. Really nice age, like I guess prospect wise. He's not too old, not super young, but not bad. His biggest thing for me is he struggles with missed tackles. He had a
His tackle is
54.1
an issue.
he had a 54.1 tackle grade, which is not ideal. Definitely something, but that is something that can be fixed for sure through coaching. And he has all of the athletic traits and size capabilities. So not super worried about that. That's something that can be fixed and something that I would like to see him improve on this season. But yeah, I mean, he played really great against solid competition. Like he played really well against Texas A&M, which was good to see. He only allowed a 45.9 NFL passer rating. Just definitely my top guy in the class as of now going into the year. It'll be fun to watch him play this year. Notre Dame is opening against Wisconsin, so that's exciting. I get to watch
So
our new starting quarterback throw probably 3 picks and 2 of them to Leonard Moore.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to hear what you have to say about him because I think you said someone else was your favorite corner in the class. So
Yeah, so I really like Leonard Moore. I think he has first round potential written all over him. I will say I don't think he's like one of the best players in college football by any means. I definitely think he's up there. But yeah, he is damn good. great build for a corner. I mean, you'd like to see him put on maybe 5 more pounds, but otherwise the height's there, the speed's there. Super fluid. His mirroring technique is amazing. Like, he's super sticky, like you said, on top of being just like a really big blanketing corner. Fast reactor, quick twitch athlete that allows him to kind of follow you in the slot, on really any type of route he has to guard you on, and overall just like everything you want in that sticky man corner. I think his ball ability is really, really good. I mean, you throw it at him, there's a really, really good chance it's going to be an interception or a PBU. I mean, he only had 26 completions on him out of 48 targets, and 5 interceptions, 7 pass breakups. I mean, those are really good numbers. I think the only thing for me with him is it's kind of like a lot of these Notre Dame guys outside of the A&M game. For corners, I'm really skeptical on them, to be honest. And, if you aren't elite everywhere, it's really hard for me to be like, yeah, you're a top 10 player. And I just kind of wish that there was more high-level competition games that he had, outside of A&M. The more tape against good wide receivers, the better for a corner. And I just feel more confident with the SEC corners, to be honest. And Notre Dame plays a lot of scrubs, just at the end of the day, whose wide receivers, aren't even really practice squad guys. And it's like, I know, he played decent against McCollum. He played good against the guys at A&M. I still think he's amazing, don't get me wrong. I just want to see a little bit more. And, maybe I'm being greedy. Maybe I'm, expecting more out of something that's out of already more. Great. But more out of more. Yeah, more out of more. But, no, I think, this year, that won't be a problem for him. Honestly, he's so good. They're going to face somebody this year. They'll probably be a college football playoff team. At least they should be. And there's definitely going to be matchups where, if he plays like he usually does, then it's hard for me to not say he's a top 15 guy, to be honest. It's just not. And probably, honestly, even a top 10. So Leonard Moore's, I don't think the hype is, as warranted. I'd take a little bit of a step back. But, no, it's not like he's not good. He's very damn good. So, if you have any other thoughts on him.
I'm he's just a guy I'm excited to watch. Him and Cohen Carr. Or not Cohen Carr. That's Michigan State. CJ Carr. Out of Notre Dame. Those are the two Notre Dame guys I'm excited to watch.
Me too, man. But like I said, no reason they should with their schedule, they should make the college football playoff.
They should.
So moving on from Leonard Moore, do we want to talk about Ellis Robinson?
Sounds good to me.
So Ellis Robinson is kind of a little bit of a different story than Notre Dame in his recruiting sense. He's at Georgia. He'll be 22 on draft day next year. 6 foot, 180, reported 4.48 40. He had a 69.1 grade this year with a 68.3 coverage grade. And unlike Moore being, barely a 4-star, on average a 3-star, this guy was a 5-star second overall player in the 2024 class and the first one. This was a big name out of high school, big player. One of Georgia's best recruits they've landed in the last probably 5 to 10 years. And what do you think about Ellis Robinson, man? Because he pretty much came in and started right away at corner for Georgia, which is that's pretty good, So
I have mixed feelings on Robinson. I'm not completely sure where I stand on him yet. I'd like to see another season of his football. But I mean, he's coming off a pretty solid redshirt freshman year. He didn't play much his freshman year, but he played a lot this year. He was a full-time starter. Which is good to see. You want to see these prospects play early in their career on a good team. And even though he didn't get a ton of snaps as a freshman, just seeing him play as a redshirt freshman is good. I thought he had excellent hip mobility and agility. I mean, he's smaller, so he kind of has to make up for it. He's only 180 pounds, which is something that I am worried about, I guess. 6 foot's not bad. That's okay size for a corner. But the weight is not ideal. He was a ball hawk. 4 interceptions, 4 PBUs. And he played pretty solid against some of the guys that went in this last class pretty early, like Jeremy Bernard, Dejon Stribling. He played pretty well against them. But he struggled against some of the other better competition that Georgia played. And that reflected in his little bit lower grade, 69.1 on PFF. Not as high as you would like to see it. But I mean, he still had some good games. It just was kind of hit or miss. He had some not great games against Tennessee, the first time they played Alabama, both times they played Ole Miss. He played decent against Dejon Stribling, but the games themselves, he was 5 penalties, 64.3 passer rating allowed. And then he had 12% missed tackle rate. There's just a lot of things that I see it. I see the potential. I see like
Yeah.
where he can definitely contribute to an NFL team. But there's a lot of things that I want to see improved. Whereas for me, Leonard Moore is a more progressed prospect. Ellis
Yeah, more
Robinson,
complete.
he's more complete for sure. Ellis Robinson needs a little bit more development. But with his speed, like what is his projected 40? I'm pretty sure he's
It was
projected
a
to be fast.
4.48.
Oh, really? Okay, I
Which
thought it was.
one of my notes is I heavily disagree. I think
I was
he's
gonna
way
say
faster.
he looks way faster on tape.
Yeah.
But with his speed that we both see,
Hmm.
and some of his athletic traits, I think he could be a good NFL player. I'm just not as high on him as Leonard Moore and even some of the other guys in this class,
That's
just
fair.
because I haven't seen it yet. But again, he's playing in the SEC, tough competition. Hopefully, he can improve this year. Yeah, I would like to hear what you have to say about Ellis Robinson.
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you with him. I think his ceiling is so much higher than his floor, to be honest, which makes sense usually when you're this young and that high of a recruit in high school. I think he's super sticky. I think he's barely kind of targeted from being that blanket player most of the time. I mean, he only had 35 targets,
Mm-hmm.
and only allowed 15 completions. That's really damn good, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like most people don't even throw his way because he's just so sticky. And then when they do, I mean, he's allowing like what 40% of them to be caught. What I will say is when he gets beat, it's bad. To
Mm-hmm.
be honest, off the 15 catches allowed, he allowed 3 touchdowns. That's not great. 315 yards on 15 catches allowed. That's
Right.
not great. And I get it. Georgia's trusting this kid as a redshirt freshman to be on an island
Mm-hmm.
against, guys like Ryan Williams. When you're going to get beat, you're going to get beat. So I did think his on-ball production for his limited targets is kind of nuts. I mean, when you consider that he has 4 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, that's 8 total on 35 targets. One of every 4 targets on him is a pass breakup or an interception.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
If I
that is
don't say
good.
so myself. And I'm with you. He's not that big. 6 foot 180. I like my corners bigger. I kind of wish he was more like 6'2", 190. But the thing with me with Ellis Robinson and why I like him a ton. I have first round potential. I think he could easily be top 15. I think he could be. If Leonard Moore didn't exist, and another guy we're going to talk about later, I think he could easily be the number 1 corner in most classes.
Mm-hmm.
It's that take a step back and realize that he's a redshirt freshman, right?
Right.
He's not that
Right.
big. Well, probably because he's a redshirt freshman. He's gonna get bigger.
Right.
He gets burnt really bad. Well, it's his first year. He's gonna learn.
Mm-hmm.
When at corner you get beat. Like it's just what happens.
Definitely.
And it's like when you realize that Georgia's obviously invested in this kid, and it's
Mhm.
Georgia. If anybody develops defensive players, it's Georgia. I'm not worried.
Right. Yeah.
Like I think for what we saw in his first year, like yes, that PFF grade isn't amazing, and the coverage and the tackling grade could go up. It's like, dude, this is a kid. He's playing against the best of the best in the SEC. He's gonna get bigger and stronger. I'm sure he's up 10 pounds in that Georgia weight room in the offseason.
Yep.
I'm really not worried about it. I think he's probably going to have a very similar season this year while fixing some of these minor mistakes and just polishing him. He's going to look so much better. So I'm really excited for Ellis Robinson.
Yes.
I think he could be. I think he could easily live up to his high school rating.
But yeah, one of the more intriguing players to watch this season because I think
sure.
he could improve a ton.
He could blossom into a superstar.
And if he improves a ton from where he's at already, like he might jump Leonard Moore.
It's not crazy to me for him to, if he's corner 1 in the draft, if he's a top 5 player or a top 10 player, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
I think he might have the highest ceiling out of everybody on this list. And I'm like serious.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But he does need to grow for that to happen, I will say.
Mhm.
If he doesn't grow, then that's probably not the truth. But
Yeah, I
if
think
he grows an inch.
Yeah.
And
I think
gets
if he
some
can
weight,
put on a little bit of weight, I think he would definitely draw a lot more attention.
Yeah. But unless you have anything else to say, you want to move to Zabian Brown?
Yeah, we can do Zabian.
Zabian Brown, another SEC cornerback, came out of the same class as Ellis Robinson. He'll be 22 on draft day from Alabama, by the way. Roll Tide. He is 6 foot, 192 pounds with a report of 4.3440. And this year he has 73.9 grade and a 69.9 coverage grade. And just like Ellis Robinson in that 5-star, or in that 2024 class, he was a 5-star. He was the 30th ranked player. Yep. Big recruit, one of Bama's better players too in that class. And, kind of very similar to Ellis Robinson, has been very, very damn good for the right now. So what do you think about Xavier Brown, man?
Yeah, and I think Brown was he a bigger recruit than Ellis Robinson? I think he was.
No, Ellis Robinson was the number one corner.
Was he? Okay. Well,
He
Xavier
was
Brown
the
was
fifth
close.
overall player.
Z-
Yeah, no,
Z-
they're both
Z-
5 stars. So.
Xavier Brown was a 5-star as well, very high in that recruiting class. And you can see why. He has excellent speed, athleticism, reaction time, a lot of things that are hard to teach that Alabama thought they could capitalize on. And so far, he's been good for them. He's been solid. He posted a 73.9 overall grade in 2025 and a 70.4 in 2025. I'm trying to remember how many snaps he played as a freshman. I think he played a solid amount. Which is impressive for Alabama. Again, this is SEC competition, and you're coming out and you're playing as a freshman. Definitely no scoffing at that. But yeah, I mean, he is obviously naturally gifted, in my opinion. Good hands, solid tackler, solid technique. He played pretty well against good SEC competition for the most part. Definitely room for improvement, but again, I mean, we're talking about playing in the SEC. That's definitely going to be a focal point for some of the NFL scouts that are watching him next year, that he plays in the SEC. But definitely want to be looking for continued improvement. He has big splash plays, but there are plays where he gets burnt and it's bad. He's kind of hit or miss, kind of like how I feel about Ellis Robinson. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. He is a very similar like build to Ellis Robinson. He's a little heavier, but he's the same height. And I think if Ellis Robinson puts on weight, they pretty much are very similar. So I kind of view them very similarly, except I think Xavier Brown has been a little bit better as of now.
I would agree.
And well, like
if I can, I was kind of like thinking when you said snaps as a freshman, I'm like, I feel like he was like pretty. Got a lot. He had 660 snaps as a freshman.
Yeah. I was gonna say
like,
I thought he played a lot. I thought he played a lot.
He only played 100 more snaps this year. Like this dude as a freshman came in and.
Yeah,
he played for Bama.
He played full time, which is impressive.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that's what I was thinking. I just didn't write it down. I thought I did, but I didn't. But yeah, I mean, and he's also projected a 4.34, which like that's some serious speed. And I see it on tape. Like that pick six he had against Tennessee, he's hauling. But yeah, I think I view him a little bit higher than Ellis Robinson currently, just because to me they're kind of the same player, except Brown is a little more athletic and a little bit farther progressed and experienced. Like you said, Ellis Robinson, high ceiling, really high ceiling. I think he could jump Xavier, but currently I view Xavier a little bit higher. I do like Xavier Brown. Roll Tide for Cam.
Yes, sir. One of my favorite Bama players right now.
Yeah, I've seen mock drafts of the Packers taking him next year, but there's no way we get him because he's going in the first round.
Yeah. He's damn good. He'll probably be a first round pick.
Yeah, I could definitely see it.
Wouldn't be. And yeah, what I liked about Brown is, I think he has first round potential written all over him too. I do agree right now. I think he is more of a higher floor right now than Ellis Robinson.
Completely agree.
Maybe some of these other guys in the class. I do think Ellis Robinson probably has a higher ceiling, but honestly, like Brown is still so good. Like their ceilings are close. Like it's not like Brown can't leap into that next level of player like Robinson can.
For sure.
Honestly, my favorite thing about him is he's super gritty and really willing to play against the run, and he's good at it. Like I think he had like an 85 PFF grade against the run.
85.0. Yep.
85 exactly. Yeah. And it's like you love to see that from a corner who's not necessarily like 200 pounds plus, and you can just tell this guy loves football, loves Bama football. Plays his ass off, and on top of being great against the run, he's a great coverage player.
Yeah,
has the athleticism to be sticky as hell. It's like if he gets a little bigger, he has the three prototypical things that you look for in a corner. And
absolutely.
Then you add that he's went to war against top SEC wide receivers. I mean, he played really, really good against Cam Coleman, and that's going to be potentially a top 20 pick next year, and a lot of people's wide receiver one outside of Jeremiah Smith. So if that doesn't say anything about his experience and starting as a freshman at Alabama, like this guy is really, really, really good. I think the only grip I have with him is 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. When he gets beat, he does get beat bad. And something I noticed is I feel like he never turns his head around. Like he is never tracking the ball like he should be. And I think for how much production he has without it, it's like, dude, get your head around and track the ball. And it's like you're doubling these numbers in my opinion. So I don't know if I'm sure like hopefully someone drills that into him and
Hmm.
he can fix that. But right now, man, he is I think definitely a first round potential player, and I really
Definitely.
really like Xavier Brown. I think he's probably he, he might be the best player in our defense. There's someone else on the list too we'll get to that I think is better
Yeah, I
personally.
was good. Bray Hubbard.
But yeah, my boy Bray.
We'll
But
get to it. We'll get to him.
Xavier will obviously be drafted higher.
Hmm.
But as a college player, he's damn good. But yeah. If you, unless you have anything else to say, do you want to move to? Why don't you? Yeah, I'll talk about Chris Peel really quick because
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you watched him
I
and I
did not
did.
watch him. I heard good things
So
about him though.
yeah, I think Chris Peel is really really good. He's the corner out of Syracuse. I couldn't find his exact age, but around draft season he'll be like 20 to 21.
Okay.
6'1", 200, 435. So this dude's got 10 pounds of the last two guys we talked about, and about an inch more. And then he also runs a report of 435 that I think is definitely around that speed on tape. 4-star, 184th player in the 2023 class. He was originally committed to Georgia. He was at Georgia
Hmm.
for 2 years before transferring
Yep.
to Syracuse this year, I believe. 85.1 grade this year, 85.1
Hmm.
tackling grade, 87 coverage grade. This guy blossomed after transferring to Syracuse. Good for him. And honestly, I think he's a really, really good zone player overall. I think he's probably the best zone corner in this class. That's kind of his bread and butter. Awesome traits for a CB. You love this. I love the big corners. I just love
Hmm.
because it
Yeah,
allows you to be locked down right there,
for
especially
sure.
when you have the speed. Great tackler too. Very clean player in that sense, and then obviously has the size to back it up. And my only thing is, I thought he needed to make more plays on the ball. He didn't have an interception this year, 5 pass breakups, but you want to see him get some picks, man. That's
For
what
sure.
you really
For
want to
sure.
see from these corners. But yeah, 42 tackles and only 3 of them missed.
That's
So
one, and I
that's
think he had 9
really
assists,
good.
so he had 51 total, which is
Yeah,
like,
like
yeah,
that's
that's
really
really
good
good.
for a
That's
corner.
really
I
good.
mean, that's like better than yeah, that's about as good as you're gonna get
That
as a corner.
that's what stood out to me in his stats was that he had 51 total tackles, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
Like all these other corners have like 24, 30, like, and he has like double that. Like,
Well, I mean, let's be real. He's probably Syracuse's best player by a mile. In
oh,
that defense,
100%.
they're getting torched, so he's probably on the field a ton. That's definitely playing into it. But then, they play some bigger teams, man, and it's like this guy doesn't falter. It feels like. So yeah, I really like Peel. I think he has first round potential. Honestly, for how good he
Okay.
is at zoning against the run, there's going to be a team that thinks they can play him. Kind of in the flats, maybe a little deeper than that, and in
Mhm.
that just kind of general zone, and play probably closer to the line of scrimmage because dude's so good at tackling that he almost plays as like a hybrid linebacker
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah.
And yeah, I could see him really being a problem in the right scheme. So I think Chris Peel is very, very good, and I'm looking forward to see him kill it at Syracuse this year.
But yeah, length
Um,
is definitely key for a lot of these corners. Like, and
oh
that's what
yeah,
NFL scouts are going to love. And Chris Peel definitely has length. And like a lot of people might be saying, he plays for Syracuse. They play in the ACC, solid conference, Power Four
no, I
conference.
think yeah.
Well, and then they played Pitt. I think they played.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think who else they played. I mean, I'm sure they played solid competition. The ACC has some solid teams.
Yeah, I don't know if they
But
play
yeah,
Miami. I know they play Miami in the last 2 years.
no, they did play Miami because they beat them. They beat them this year.
Did they, or was that
I
last year? Was that with
no, I
Cam Ward? I think they beat him when they had Cam Ward.
oh was it? Maybe it was.
I feel like
Oh no,
it
Louisville
doesn't.
beat Miami. But anyway,
Yeah, Louisville beat Miami this year.
I mean they play those good teams, so I'm sure he's gonna get his opportunities this year. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I gotta watch
Yeah,
him.
and now we want to talk about Bryce Pollock.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Bryce Pollock is honestly, him and the next guy I want to talk about. The last 2 corners I watched are my 2 favorites. More
Okay.
than Robinson, more than Brown, more than Moore. I understand that all those guys will probably be drafted higher than both these 2, but
Mhm.
just from my perspective and what I've seen so far, my opinion is subject to change, by the way. But
Yeah.
right now, these 2 guys that we're about to talk about, I really like. I just want to preface that. So Bryce
Mhm.
Pollock is corner at Texas Tech. He will be around 22 on draft day. 6', 195 with a report of 4.40. He had an 82.5 grade, an 81.1 tackling grade, and an 82.5 coverage grade. And he was a 3-star player in the 2023 class, 468th player to be exact. Originally committed to Mississippi State, and now that he was at Tech this year, was one of the key players in their defense. Who
Mhm.
I kind of feel like his name kind of got swept under the rug, behind all the other guys that were really, really good for them.
Mhm.
Jacob Rodriguez, David Bailey, AJ Holmes. Literally, there's so many more guys to say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I kind of feel like sneakily he was probably one of the best players, honestly.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Pollock?
Man, I completely agree with you. He was one of my favorite corners I watched, not named Leonard Moore. I mean, just super fundamental guy. I felt like excellent play recognition, reaction time, downfield pursuit. Absolutely locked down on not giving up touchdowns. Allowed 0 touchdowns this year while having 5 interceptions, 6 pass breakups. On 70 targets, had 5 interceptions and 6 pass breakups and 52 tackles, like we were saying before with Chris Peel. Like above 50 tackles for a corner, that is insane.
Especially on this defense, man.
Well, right, you have Jacob Rodriguez, you have AJ Holmes, you have David Bailey, you have who's the other edge? Defense? Lee Hunter. You have the guy who went to the 49ers.
49ers, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
I'm blanking on his name right now. But this is a great. And then you have I was really high on Ben Roberts, and I was really high on the safety. What's his name? The white guy.
Cole
Wisniewski. Yep. And he was a hard hitter, but like you have a guy in Bryce Pollock who had 52 tackles on this defense. That is really impressive. And this dude, Texas Tech was like really known for being kind of old, and he's only 21. He just turned 21. So he's pretty young, and he's showcasing all of this. But yeah, he allowed 35 of his 69 targets and had a 35.7 passer rating allowed. Granted, he had 6 penalties, which isn't great, but like when you're getting targeted 70 times, it's kind of hard, especially as a corner.
I also think when you play like a madman, like when you're everywhere, you're just bound to kind of get some rough plays.
Right.
Like this dude plays like his hair's on fire, and that just kind of happens. And I wonder how many of these. I would be interested how many of them happened when they were up already. You know, they knew. Yeah,
like penalties that didn't even matter.
Like he played over aggressive because he knew he could.
But yeah, I mean, really fundamental. Put up really solid numbers in the Big 12. Got a solid conference. My biggest issues for him are he has pretty average measurables. Like he doesn't have great length or size. But like on tape, it doesn't matter. And then the other thing is I would question how much he actually benefited from how good Tech's defense was, because we were just talking about all these great players, great pass rushers in David Bailey, great linebackers in Jacob Rodriguez. These players could definitely help and benefit his coverage skills. Like it's always like I always think like good pass rush helps corners so much. That's why Keyshawn Nixon looked like actually like serviceable when Micah Parsons was in. But other than those two things, I mean, I really like Pollock. I think he's underrated as hell. Dude, just 0 touchdowns allowed is with 5 interceptions and 60 pass breakups on 70 targets is unreal. But yeah, I would like to hear what you have to say because you obviously like him as well.
Yeah, so I had top 15 potential on Pollock. And Pollock's one of those guys that I watch and I kind of get like confused. I kind of feel like an idiot. I'm like, what am I missing? Like, am I missing
I know. Yeah.
Something really big? Because like, you know, just going over some of the pros of him, like he's everywhere all at once, it feels like.
For sure.
This guy is making plays everywhere on the field. Mm-hmm. You know, 43 tackles in this defense. It's great. Everyone's feasting. I mean, he should be the last one to the table in getting these tackles, and he's still getting only missed 4 of them. Like Chris Peel, that means, you know, you're an excellent tackler. You're super physical. 0 touchdowns allowed on 70 targets. That's nuts. 5 interceptions, 6 PBUs. Like, these stats are amazing in this defense, man. And honestly, you know, he's so aggressive. He plays nasty against the run. He makes on-ball plays all the time. You know, for me, I was liking this guy, and then you get to the ASU game where he had good reps in PBUs against Jordan Tyson, and you're like, right. What am I like? This guy's the real deal. Like, this was our number 1 wide receiver, who I think has the potential of like a smaller, less athletic Jamar Chase, which is debatably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And he's going one-on-one like to war with him. I'm like, dude, he is like, what am I missing? Like, amazing stats. I honestly think he's also big enough too, where it's like he's young. I think he can grow. 6 foot 195 with a 4.4 40. It's like he has the speed, he has the athleticism, he has the grit. The size is fine weight wise. I mean, he could get a little bigger, but like, I don't really see a weakness in him at all. The only thing I see is how is he going to play with a less insane front? That's the only thing. But if he has anything close to the season he just had this year again, after David Bailey's gone and after all these guys are gone, I get Tech's defense is still really, really good. Trust me.
Yeah, right.
I know, but it's hard to say it would be better than last year. I mean, maybe, but that's the only question there is with him. That's the only thing, like, honestly, for me, is that he's a little small. I wish for him to be a little bigger, and that he definitely does benefit from a really good defense around him. But no, I'm watching him like, why have I not heard of this guy before?
Right. No, I know. I hadn't heard of him until I saw his name. Literally, I
genuinely, outside of David Bailey and Jacob Rodriguez, I think he's the third best player on that defense. And we're talking about a Heisman guy in Rodriguez and the number 2 overall pick in Bailey.
Right.
And it's like, where's the love for Bryce Pollock, man? So I feel like I have to be the one to give it. But
no, I completely agree with you.
Just like I did with David Bailey, because David Bailey was like a 3rd round pick last year before he went in crazy at Tech. I thought he was a top 15 player, and then it was true, and I'm like milking this to this day, calling it with Bryce Pollock. Bryce Pollock's going to be a 1st round pick next year. And everyone's going to be like, oh, what the hell? Who was talking about him? I was, all right? And you were too, We were, all right?
Hey, well, I'm going to post this on Instagram, and when that clip goes viral a year from now, we're going to be...
hey, no, he's genuinely going to be like the worst corner in all college next year. No. But, no, Pollock, man, honestly, he's good enough. I'm putting my cards on the table for him. I'm willing to go all in.
I agree.
I like him. He's going to be my probably favorite player to watch on Tech. I don't mind Tech, to be honest. I kind of like when they do good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well, dude, you sent me that thing today. Tech has like the easiest Power 4 schedule.
No, I'm not gonna lie. We'll get to their rankings, but like spoilers, I guess they should go 12.
Like unironically, they should.
Like, and even with their quarterback situation being a mess, they should go 12. There's no.
Their schedule is so easy.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
With the running back room they have, with the defense they have,
which like I don't understand. Like, I guess I don't know how college creates their schedules that well, but, like, they just made the college football playoff. It seems like they would have a hard schedule. Like, do they not schedule like that?
The out-of-conference is up to them, and they kind of get grilled for that. Like, they probably should have scheduled harder outside of conference. But let's be real, there isn't really a big dog in the Big 12 outside of that.
That's fair. I mean, they are the big dog. So
they are. Like, they probably play, like, because I know you said that, like, though they still play like TCU and Oklahoma State and like Arizona State, and it's like in Arizona, and it's like, well, those are the best teams, not them, and those just aren't great teams. Like
they're just not,
okay teams. I mean, Houston's probably like decent, maybe a top 25 team on their best day, but like, yeah, it's why Miami is the GOAT of the ACC every year without winning the conference championship somehow.
Right?
When you play against. When the winner of the ACC's conference championship is Duke and they go 7-5, it's free eats for Miami most weeks. Like, let's be real.
So right. It's the same thing with the Big 12. Yeah.
Which is why I think Miami and Texas Tech should be in the SEC. I've been saying this. Like, I almost think Clemson should be in the SEC too.
Well,
why are you not?
Isn't the Pac-12 reforming?
I don't know, bro. I try to keep up with it, but it's like all this bullshit with all these conferences.
Yeah.
And it seems like nothing matters, and apparently conference championships aren't even going to happen this year. Because it doesn't matter. I mean, that's a whole different thing. We can get into that, but like with the college football playoffs, like why would you? It's a whole mess, to be honest. But
a lot of mess.
Yeah, Pollock, damn good player.
Very good.
And now we're going to talk about somebody who I like probably about the same. Maybe a little more on his best days, maybe a little less overall. But Kelly Jones. I don't know if it's Keely or Kelly or Kelly. I'm going to say Kelly.
I think it's Kelly. I think it's Kelly.
Kelly Jones from Mississippi State. He will be around 23 by draft day, so a little older. But he is the one guy in this class who has all the length in the world. 6'4", 195 with a reported 4.42 40.
Crazy length.
75.7 grade, 75.5 tackling grade, and a 76.8 coverage grade. And he was a 4-star, 372nd player in the 2023 class. What do you think about Kelly Jones, man?
I mean, yeah, probably the longest corner in the class. I mean, is the longest corner in the class, 6'4", like you said.
That we covered.
He is huge. And he uses his length to the best of his ability, I think. I mean, he had 9 pass breakups this year, 2 interceptions. I think my biggest thing for Jones is he has really solid awareness, ball skills, definite good, signs of good hip movement and technique, sticky in coverage with his length. He is very good at sticking with the receiver. His length helps him cover space much easier, like I said, which makes him kind of like a prototypical NFL corner. I think my biggest downside for him is I don't know, like he's kind of like he just seems raw to me. He seems a little raw.
He is a little. Yeah.
Like I think there's development that needs to be done, which I don't know how advantageous that is for how old he is. That's my biggest thing for him. Like he's a little bit older already, and then he probably needs a little development. Now, if he can put together a good year this year, he jumps up a lot for me.
Yeah.
If he can show that he's developing right now, which he probably is putting on weight because he's still growing probably. He's coming into this is his 4th year of college, I think.
I believe so, yes. If you're in the 2023 class, then
yeah, 4th year of college. And yeah, I mean, I'm saying he's raw, like in my opinion, but even then, he still put up good games against ASU, Florida, Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss, Wake Forest. Like, these are all really solid teams, except maybe Wake Forest, but like, I don't know why I included Wake Forest. I was just writing down teams. I was just writing down teams.
Not the same.
But yeah, I mean, he allowed under 30% of his targets to be completed, and a 54.7 passer rating. The funniest thing is his worst games were like against worst competition, like against Arkansas and Northern Illinois. Like, I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I mean, he definitely shows signs of definite, like he could contribute to an NFL team for me, and his length is undeniable. That's something that cannot be taught. And that's going to make him valuable. I really like Kelly Jones. Definitely think he could be a first rounder. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you say because you really like him. So
I think he has top 15 potential. And if any of you guys remember from our corner episode on the draft in 2025, I love length of corners. I just do.
Yes.
Because every extra inch helps you become so much more of a defensive blanket when you're guarding wide receivers. And
for sure,
he has great size, like super lengthy, 6'4", 195. The weight, the height's there. The speed's definitely there. Everything you want with the fluidity and the athleticism is there. He's already, he just needs to be polished in some sense, but the overall sculpting is done. I think his coverage abilities are elite. Like, honestly, he was targeted 38 times, only allowed 11 of them to be caught. 3 touchdowns on those 11 targets isn't great. Like, when he gets beat, it's very, very rare, but when he does, it's kind of like badly. But this dude literally had the same amount of like on-ball plays as receptions allowed. He had 2 interceptions and 9 PBUs. So he had 11 of those combined on top of only having 11 receptions. So you throw at him, there's a very, very good chance that it's going to be batted down or picked off. I think he has great speed. I think that 4.42 is probably accurate, if not even, undermining him. I think he might even be faster. I mean, he stayed sticky with Ryan Wingo in their matchup. And that's I know we didn't talk about Wingo, but he is a very, very fast player. I also think he might be the best press man corner in this class, which is awesome because you can just stick this guy on the outside. He has the length. He has the speed. And now you're telling me he's really good at press man and he can make on-ball plays? I'm in love. That's why I like him. He just has a lot of what he's definitely elevated in this class because he has that length that nobody else really does, and I like 6'3", 6'4" corners who move like they're 6 foot, to be honest. But I definitely think, like, man, I don't know. I know Mel Kiper had him as like a top 15 player this last year. Like, if he would have went in the 2025 draft, he would have been a top 15 player for Mel Kiper. And Mel Kiper gets love and hate, whatever. Sometimes valid, sometimes unvalid.
We all have opinions on Mel Kiper.
He's still a big name in the
absolutely.
industry. It's not like nobody was thinking that this wasn't a good player by any means. So I definitely think if he puts together a similar season at Mississippi State and kind of tweaks on some of, fixes some of these little things up a little differently, kind of like Robinson, some like these other guys. I don't know why he's not a first round pick.
For sure. I mean, his length alone.
The only thing that I think would make it not, if he had a better season, would be this class is just so good that maybe he's like top of the second round player. But yeah, I really liked him, and I honestly think like the ceiling is sky high, man. Like, honestly.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's Kelly Jones. Probably be the best player on Mississippi State next year. Maybe Cliff Bothwell, but is there any other corners you have to talk about?
Yeah, I do have one more. Ashton Hampton, I would like to talk about.
Okay, where is he from again?
He's from Clemson.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that, like, honestly, he's another guy that could definitely move up in this class. It's funny because he reminds me a lot of Avian Terrell, who was just drafted this year.
Okay.
In a way, like a light version of Avian Terrell, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean,
Well, he's way bigger.
he's 6'2", 200 to 205 pounds. I've seen 200, I've seen 205.
Yeah.
So I kind of put a range there. And 20.3 years old. Ashton Hampton was kind of another player who experienced a little grade dip this year with Clemson, not performing very well in general. A lot of Clemson players this year kind of had that same issue. But man, I think he has the traits, and I really, really liked his tackling ability. That is one thing he improved on from 2024 to 2025. He went from an 18.9% miss to a 6.7% missed rate, which is really good improvement. He was targeted 61 times and only allowed one touchdown, had an interception and 6 PBUs. He had a 68.6 coverage grade, 75.4 run defense grade. That's the reason why I kind of say he was similar to Avian Terrell, a better run defender than coverage guy. But I mean, on the play, the targets on the plays where he was targeted, he was pretty solid. Only allowed one touchdown. He did allow a decent amount of yards, but I mean, the one touchdown is the biggest thing. But yeah, and as a freshman, he had a 75 grade on 461 snaps. And that's coming on to Clemson, who was pretty good his freshman year. And they had high expectations, and he was a day one starter. So definitely something to keep in mind for him. Biggest things for me that I didn't like, he still needs a lot of work on his coverage skills and technique. Still pretty raw. So definitely something to be improved on. And then he struggled a lot against Clemson's better competition that they played against, other than SMU, which I don't even know if you classify SMU as a great team. But yeah, against like LSU, Syracuse, Duke, FSU, South Carolina, which even some of those teams aren't that great, he did not play very well. So yeah, I definitely would like to see him improve a little bit this year, but without Avian Terrell, he's probably going to be stepping up into their corner one. So he's going to have a big opportunity. And with his frame and his size, I definitely think he can make an impact, so it'll be interesting to watch him. But yeah, that is Ashton Hampton. I don't know if you want to add anything at all.
Really, just that I'd be interested to see, this year for Clemson players was the crapshoot overall, and I still think there was really good players. Peter
Definitely.
Woods, obviously being a really big one. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but the guy that went to the Bills as the edge, he was TJ Parker.
Yep, TJ
So
Parker.
I definitely think these guys can, especially Ashton Hampton, sounds really, has the size that's awesome. I think a lot of these guys can bring it back this year and kind of disregard that last year in a sense. So yeah, wishing the best for him, because
Yeah.
I feel like college football is fun when Clemson's good.
But yeah, yeah, definitely. I forgot to put a grade on him. I think currently I'd probably have him as a day two guy. I think he can be a contributor. I don't think he's a first rounder right now, but if he has a really good season and Clemson really turns it around, I think there's definitely a way he could find himself in the first round with his measurables. But that is Ashton Hampton. You want to move to safeties now?
Yeah, and with that, you want to just start with KJ Bolden?
Yeah, I think that's the best one to start with here.
Yeah, so KJ Bolden, he will be 21 during draft year, or during the draft time next season. He is the safety out of Georgia, 6 foot, 185 with a reported 4.33 40. Very fast.
Really good, really fast.
85.9 grade, 90.6 tapping grade, and an 82.3 coverage grade. And he was another really, really big recruit for Georgia. In that 2024 class, I don't know if him and Robinson were Georgia's number 1 and 2 best players in the recruiting class, but he was a 5-star, the first safety, and the 13th overall player. So, I mean, him being the 13th overall player, Robinson being the 5th overall player, they now form a pretty damn good DB duo at Georgia.
Yes.
So what did you think about KJ Bolden?
I mean, yeah, he's the first safety I looked at, and I completely understand why he's the highest ranked safety in this class by PFF and by most, I guess, grading scales I looked at. He's put together two this year was really good, and he played pretty well his freshman year as well. I mean, and with a solid amount of snaps, 552 snaps as a true freshman for Georgia. And I mean, this is in the SEC again, and we talked about Ellis Robinson. He did not start really for Georgia his freshman year. KJ Bolden did, and he played 552 snaps. That is really impressive. This last year, he allowed 0 touchdowns, had 6 PBUs and 2 interceptions. Really good numbers, 78 total tackles. and he's good age, really good run defender, really good tackler. I mean, he only missed 4.9% of his tackles. That's definitely something that you want to see out of a safety. I would say he's probably more of a strong safety. I would say he plays a lot of box, doesn't he? I'm trying to remember what.
No, yeah, he has 218 snaps in the box and 115 snaps in the slot. So he has almost 400 snaps near the line of scrimmage. With a 91.3 run defense grade. I forgot about
right, 91.3 run defense. That's the thing I highlighted in the overlay because, I mean, that is really impressive. That's what you want to see out of a strong safety. He draws a lot of comparative, and I'm going to shout out Javon Bullard because he's a Packer, but he draws a lot of comparisons to Javon Bullard, who was a Georgia Bulldog safety, who was a very similar player, and got drafted in the second round. But this guy might be better. And like he is really solid in run defense, really solid coverage guy, really solid tackler. And I say solid, but I actually kind of mean elite because he's elite run defender and elite tackle guy. And he had good games against Alabama twice, Texas, Ole Miss. And then, Ole Miss the second time in the college football playoff. The first time he did not play amazing. And then he didn't play amazing against Florida or Mississippi State either. But I mean, I can chalk off a few games for these guys. Like they're going to have off games. Not something I'm worried about whatsoever with KJ Bolden. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest downside for him are his physical measurables. He's only 6 foot, 185 to 195 pounds, pretty average. And this is the thing; it's not even bad; it's just kind of average. So when you're looking,
the only thing you can be nitpicky on him,
right? If I'm nitpicking something for KJ Bolden, it would be his physical measurables, which might bring him down a little bit. But we saw with why am I blanking? Caleb Downs this year, he was pretty average measurables overall, and he got picked 13th or 12th overall. So it's like, dude, like it doesn't matter if this guy has the skills, teams are going to take him. And I think KJ Bolden definitely has the skills. Now, I don't think he's Caleb Downs, but I think he's really solid for sure. But excited to hear what you have to say about him.
Yeah. So KJ Bolden, man, really, really good player. Probably, I don't know if I'm going to commit to him saying he's my favorite safety in this class.
Okay.
But he is definitely up there. Excellent against the run. Very, very great.
Very good.
Obviously, coverage skills are awesome too. You know, check. Super versatile. Another check. Does everything you want your good safeties to do. Great. You know, obviously quick reactor. I think he crashes down on plays with really, really good force. Like he's very aggressive. He's, you know, coming from this long lineage of Georgia safeties who are very aggressive, want to hit, want to play the run. You love to see it. You know, fill lanes like a beast. I don't know if he's 4.33 fast, but I definitely do think he's 4.4 fast.
He's definitely fast.
And I have a first-round potential on him. The only reason I don't have a top 15 is because I just think there's a gap between, like, to be a top 15 safety, man, you have to be real. And, you know,
especially in this class.
He's really good. Yeah, especially in this class. He's really good, but, like, let's be real. You think of some of the safeties that have gotten drafted high recently. Kyle Hamilton was way freakier, way bigger. He had almost 20 to 30 pounds on this guy and 3 more inches. And then you think about Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs went 13. Caleb Downs almost wasn't a top 15 player. He was, what, 12? Yeah. And I'm sorry, Caleb Downs was a lot of people's number one player in the class. Way better than KJ Bolden. So for me, it's hard to be like, yeah, I see top 15 potential. That's hard. That's unbelievably hard in the safety to say.
Really difficult.
So I don't think he's close to that. I definitely think he's probably a latter half of the first round, especially in this draft. But no, he's definitely really good. I would say that, like, for me, he's probably slightly worse than, like, Thieneman. And I think Thieneman in a weak class last year was, like, my 18th player. So that would probably be, like, around 25, 30 in this class this year. So definitely a really, really good player. I just kind of wanted to see him he needs to pop more on tape to be drafted higher than where I think he is right now. Like, Caleb Downs, when you watch Caleb Downs, you're like, holy shit.
Right,
when you watch KJ Bolden, you're like, damn, he's good, but I don't really see any place where I'm like, yup, you're going to be a beast in the NFL. Like, I don't even need to think about it. Like, no, he's good, but I need to see you be freakishly good to kind of warrant some of the hype he gets. But no, he's still really, really good in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I mean, we have to preface that having a first round potential in this class is still insane.
Safety,
like he's
still really good.
He's really good player. It's just, comparing him to some of these guys where you're thinking about top 15, like you said, like, dude, as a safety, it might have the lowest positional value of any player. And like 100%. It's so hard to get picked. It's so hard to get picked in the top 15 as a safety. So even mentioning it in the same like sentence is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now you watch Keon Sabb, yeah?
I did not. No.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's someone I watched that you didn't. This is probably biased because I'm a Bama fan.
Mhm.
That maybe I watched him. How about I talk about him and then you talk about one of the guys that I
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
didn't watch.
sounds good.
So Keon Sabb, safety from Alabama, he is one of the older, if not the oldest prospects we're going to be talking about today. He'll be 24 on draft day next year. 6'1", 204 with a 4.55 40. This year he had an 81.2 grade, 71 run defense grade, 81.1 tackle grade, and an 83.7 coverage grade. In the 2022 class, he was a 4-star, top 100 player. He was the 84th player, and originally committed to Michigan. I believe he was there for 2 years before transferring here to Bama, and since then he's been probably one of our better defensive players. He makes a lot of plays on ball. He only had 18 targets, only allowed 10 receptions, and still had an interception, 2 PBUs. He has 39 tackles for kind of being like our third rotational safety. It's pretty decent. Only 1 touchdown allowed, less than 100 yards allowed all season. He has 146 slot snaps, 161 box snaps, and 477 free safety snaps. So he's pretty versatile. You can kind of stick him anywhere. I said he kind of almost plays like a spy linebacker, honestly. Obviously doesn't really have the size to be in that true role, but you can kind of stick him closer to the line of scrimmage as almost like that field general middle linebacker that's just a little deeper, and that's kind of the type of player he is. I think he has great instincts to engage runners and QBs. Like, he does not let a lot of QBs get to the edge. He does not let a lot of running backs break off for these massive home run plays. He's just smart, takes good angles, is definitely, the safety net in Bama's defense for sure. Well, a lot of these other guys go and make some of the more splash plays. And, that isn't really appreciated a lot of the time. So the only thing with Sabb is obviously, he still at the end of the day isn't one of these guys that's feasting. He is older, 24 years old. That's not great at a position that isn't already valued a ton. Less than ideal size and athleticism. He isn't as fast. You would probably want him to be a little bit bigger so he can play the role he's good at more efficiently and especially translate to the NFL easier. And because of all those reasons, I think he definitely has day 2 potential. I think you're probably looking at a 3rd-round player that somebody likes as a scheme fit, maybe thinking they can put a little bit of size on him. But overall, Sabb is very underappreciated in Bama's defense, which is consistently really good. And I'm just, I like him. He's one of my more favorite players in this class just because he's Bama. Like I said, I admit I'm biased, but I definitely think he's fun as like that spy player. A lot of safeties are a lot more of coverage, and that makes sense. But if you need kind of like somebody that can hold the edge, contain the edge, be that safety net, just be safe for you overall, I think Keon Sabb is going to be somebody that maybe could surprise people and go higher than people think because of that like niche skill set in a sense. But yeah, day 2 potential, but still, man, great college player, and I think overall pretty damn good safety. So
yeah, and you can never.
Or do you have anything to say about?
Well, I was gonna say you can never count out these SEC guys, so you always can make big jumps.
Never. And these, I'm gonna say this too. This is like a Bama Glaze session right here, but it feels like I've heard reports. I've heard this a ton that Suavis is doing really really good in Ravens minicamp right now.
Okay.
Like, could potentially be their tight end 1 in the next few years as well.
Wow.
I've heard he's been doing really, really good, and him and Lamar already have a connection. I've also heard that the best player, the player in the Browns draft class that is showing out the most, and keep in mind, this is Denzel Boston, this is Spencer Fano, this is Casey Concepcion, all guys that I thought were pretty good, is Justin Jefferson. The 5th or 6th round linebacker. I've heard that he might start for them.
Dude, he was underrated.
No, I agree. But some of these Bama players, man, they kind of get swept under the rug.
Damani Jackson is gonna start.
No, honestly, bro. Honestly, he's another one where it's like people forget that you play at these top schools. If you're just an average starter at Bama, you're a good football player.
Right.
People seem to forget that. So if he goes higher as a good NFL player, and it's kind of the same thing. It's not just Bama. It's like Georgia too.
Of course, yeah.
Don't be surprised. So I think he's definitely somebody to not underestimate in a sense. And yeah, Keon Sabb, man.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to watch him.
Great college player. Yeah. So why don't, unless you have anything else to say, why don't you hit on one of the guys that?
Did you watch? You didn't watch Tay Johnson, right?
No, I did not. No.
All right, I'll touch on him. So Tay Johnson is. In my opinion, the best safety on Notre Dame's squad. I have 2 safeties from Notre Dame that I will be talking about today, but he is probably the better of the 2 in my opinion. Definitely because he's a little bit younger. What I could find, he's 20 years old. I'm not completely sure. That's like really all I could see. He doesn't really have it public. So I'm going to assume he's about 20 years old because this is his second year. And yeah, I mean, he's the number 2 safety according to DraftBuzz. So DraftBuzz really likes him. And he's definitely put together a good season. Good tackler, really solid coverage guy, absolute ball hawk. He had 4 interceptions, 3 PBUs, 0 touchdowns allowed. He had good games against Texas A&M and Pitt. Not great games against NC State, USC, and Miami. So a little bit hit or miss versus good competition. But yeah, he's got the length. He's 6'2", 193 pounds. Super high ball IQ was the biggest thing that I liked about him. And then, yeah, he's very good at reading the quarterback. He's slower than Bolden, which is, I mean, that's not like that big of a thing for me, but definitely more length and mass. Solid run defender as well. My biggest thing for him is he struggled with injury. This last season, he had 2 games that he missed. I'm not exactly sure what the injury is. I can't remember.
Looks like a wrist injury.
Wrist injury, that's right. Yeah, missed 2 games this season. And this was also his first season starting. He did not play his freshman year at Notre Dame. So would like to see another productive year out of him. But yeah, I mean, he has the stats: 50 tackles, 4 interceptions, 3 PBUs, 0 touchdowns allowed, 82.8 overall grade, 79.3 run defense grade, 84 coverage grade, 91 tackle grade with only 3.8% missed rate. So he's just a consistent guy. But yeah, I'm interested to see what he does this year at Notre Dame because this, again, was his first year starting. I would like to see another good season out of him. I think I would definitely project him as a day 2 guy. Definitely not a first rounder yet. And I don't know if he ever will be. I don't know if his ceiling is that high. But it'll be interesting to see because both of these guys that I'm going to talk about from Notre Dame, they're a tandem, so they kind of help each other out. And it'll be interesting to see them work together in harmony this season. I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to add.
All I see is, out of his 3 comps that he has, Tyler Nubin from Minnesota is one of them. Okay. That's pretty good. But the other one I kind of have PTSD about because he's 88% similar to Lewis Cine from Georgia, who, if you don't know who that is, was the safety that we traded back for to not take Kyle Hamilton, and essentially did literally nothing for us. He was a first-round pick in 2022, and I think he's been off the team for over a year.
Oh, no.
Let's hope that that's not true, but...
Oh, no. Well, yeah, let's hope that Tate Johnson is not seen, because that would be atrocious.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't obliterate his knee in the season, I think he'll be fine. But, I don't have anything else to add. Interesting player. Notre Dame consistently puts out good DBs, it feels like. I mean,
yes, yeah.
You said he didn't start as a freshman, maybe because he was behind Xavier Watts,
right?
Damn good player, So
yeah,
definitely someone to look out for because it seems like Notre Dame never really puts up these first round safeties, but these second and third round ones that
are just like
pretty
consistent.
Good. And there's another. I can't think of his name. Viking safety, pretty good if I don't say so myself, who came from Notre Dame.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
No, they definitely, when they have safeties that are good, you kind of look out for them. So
definitely.
Tate Johnson, interesting player. Do you want to talk about Bray Hubbard?
Yeah, let's do it. This is your guy, and I like him too.
This is my guy. I think Bray Hubbard's probably my favorite safety. This might be a little bit of bias. He's probably my favorite defensive player, but I also think he is really good. I agree. He's 6'2", 213, 4'6". That's great size, to be honest, especially for the type of safety that he is. 84.1 grade, 90.4 run defense, 82.7 tackling grade, and 82.6 coverage grade. He was a 4-star in the 2023 class, the 316th player. And out of Alabama, and he'll be around 22 during draft season next year. What do you think about Bray Hubbard?
Again, kind of this Alabama thing. I think he's really underrated. I think he kind of gets he gets underrated because he's a Bama guy, and they're kind of hesitant to really elevate these guys to a higher status. I really like Bray Hubbard, and this is not just saying this to suck up to an Alabama fan. I actually do think he's good. 90 total tackles, 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 4 PBUs. This dude is a stat monster. Absolutely very productive.
Mhm.
He has been a huge playmaker for the Tide. Continue to get more and more playing time over the last 3 years. He kind of has like went up
Mhm.
incrementally. Like he was like not many
Yeah.
snaps freshman year, 400-ish snaps his sophomore year, and then he had like 800 snaps this last year. So full-time starter. Really grew into that role, which is nice to see. But yeah, I think he's a really great gap filler and tackler. I really like the way he was able to create turnovers and big stops. Also had some good games versus good competition in the SEC. He played well against Georgia, Vanderbilt, LSU, Indiana in the playoffs. Alabama did not look good at all against Indiana. He was one of the bright spots. He actually played
Mhm.
pretty well against Indiana. He has really solid length and size, 6'2", 213 to 217 pounds, so really good weight. Did I say something
No,
wrong there?
I'm just looking something up really quick. Keep
Okay,
going.
okay, okay. My biggest downside for him was his lack of high end speed. He's a projected 4.6 guy, so not super fast. And the fact that while he created turnovers, he did allow a decent amount of receiver production. I mean, he allowed 231 yards for 3 touchdowns, so something to improve on. He's also a little older. I think I found 22 years old. I don't know if that's right. I think he's
That's yeah.
22.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, this dude is underrated. I think he could be the next like white phenomenon safety. That would be awesome.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what you have to say about your guy because
Yeah, so all the love that I used to have for Coy Parrish, I just transferred to Bray Hubbard, man. So
oh god,
yeah, no, uh, no, Bray Hubbard, man, really, really good. I think he has elite instincts. I think he's super, super smart. I feel like
yeah,
you could tell this guy lives in the film room. Plays elite against the run. I mean, 90.4 run defense grade, and he has all the size to back it too.
hmm
He hits hard as hell.
yes.
Like he is probably the hardest hitting safety corner
Well, dude, I
in this
compared him.
class.
When I was
I
watching
mean,
him, he just reminded me of Wisniewski from Texas Tech because he hits so hard. Like that is
yeah,
like they're white boys and they hit hard.
yeah, and like, dude, we're talking about like game winning moments. I mean, he's the one that forced the fumble on Cam Coleman
Yeah,
that stopped them from winning that game potentially. So this guy plays up to moments. Turnover machine, tons of production on ball. I mean, you said it, but like 2 sacks, 1 hit, 8 hurries, 62 tackles, 4 interceptions, 4 PBUs, 3 forced fumbles all this season. I mean, these are insane numbers for a safety, and especially a guy that's in Bama's defense where it's like you have Xavier Brown who's eating, you have Sab who's eating, you have a D line full of 5 stars and 4 stars. Like, and he's still finding space to make all these plays in a sense.
right.
Super versatile as well. 185 snaps in the slot, 200 at free safety,
Yes,
and
that is the other thing I
382
forgot
in
to
the
mention.
box.
Yes,
He can
really
play everywhere,
versatile.
man. He can play everywhere. I think the only thing lacking with Hubbard is, his explosiveness and his athleticism is just
hmm
a little. It's not great, to be honest. You can
Yeah.
kind of tell he's slower to cut off angles. He's slower in pursuit.
hmm
You can kind of just tell when he's running, he's just not as fast as some of these other guys. Just at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
I honestly think he still has first round potential because I think he's so smart to make up for it. And I also think like he's so big that you don't really want like that's not really what you're asking him to do. You're
Right.
not asking
Right.
him to be super fluid in coverage. I mean, the only
Right.
thing you would want his speed for is to cut off angles on, running backs going outside. But
hmm
overall, man, I mean, I understand he's not going to be drafted in the first round. I get it. In this class, with his age and his athleticism, it's just not going
hmm
to happen. But I think this guy's going to be a really, really good player that gets drafted maybe top 60, top 70. I think he has first round potential. When it's all said and done, like I said, probably a little later than that. But man, I love him, and he is a true like at heart Bama player. Everything about him screams Bama. Him working up that ladder, it's like you come
hmm
in, you're expected to grind like that, and now where he is, he's probably one of the best players for us. Game-winning moments against Auburn in the Iron Bowl that will go down in Bama history. I mean, you love to see it for a guy who clearly loves the team.
Yeah.
And, he was getting a lot of hate after the FSU game where there was clips of him jogging that we lost. And, after that, he turned it on. Man, he did not have a single game where I was like, there's no effort. He took that personally. He took it like, you could tell it really bothered him, that he was probably
hmm
disappointed in himself. And yeah, it culminated in a very elite season full of tons of plays.
For
And
sure.
nobody puts their life on the line more than Bray Hubbard when it comes to these hits, man. I mean, they're
Absolutely.
brutal. So yeah, I really like Hubbard. Unless you have anything else to say about him,
No, yeah, underrated player.
underrated for sure. And I'm excited to see him in Bama's defense.
Deshaun Spears is the second safety in the safety tandem with AJ Halsey, who was drafted this year. Let me find the page. Hold up. There it is. But yeah, I mean, really highly graded player, 90.1 overall grade in 2025. He had a 90.3 coverage grade, an 85.7 run defense grade, and an 84.3 tackle grade with a 4.2% missed rate. He had good games versus Florida, Alabama, and Houston. He has a projected 4.43 40-yard dash, and he had a 99.9 grade versus Florida with 2 interceptions and an interception touchdown. He had an excellent game. But yeah,
that's
Deshaun,
DJ Lagway was just giving him out.
Yep,
for free.
5 interceptions.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had 2 of the first 3 interceptions, and he took one of them back for a touchdown. But yeah, Deshaun Spears is an absolute monster. He is 6'3", 209 pounds, and he is 20 and a half years old. He had 1 sack, 2 interceptions, and 2 PBUs this year with 0 touchdowns allowed. 23 tackles, so not super productive tackle-wise, which is something that to look out for as a safety. But yeah, great height, length, weight, make him tough to meet in the lane. That's why he has a high run defense grade. But he also has incredible speed for his size, and really solid coverage as well, which make him kind of versatile. You can play him basically anywhere on the field, and he will provide for you. Yeah, good in the box, free safety, slot. I think he had 100+ snaps in all 3 of those positions for LSU. And then, my biggest concern for him is his lack of experience with less than 260 snaps in both years of college. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And while he had great games, he also had some pretty bad ones as well. He did not play very well against Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. So kind of hit or miss. My hope is that he can step into a bigger role with the departure of AJ Halsey, get a few more snaps, and the hire of Lane Kiffin as well. Lane Kiffin is an excellent coach. I'm sure he will be able to figure out Deshaun Spears. But yeah, I'm really hoping he has a good season because the things I see on tape, his ups are really high. I think he has a high ceiling, just a little bit more developmental. He's still young, has time to develop. That is Deshaun Spears. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Just thought what's hilarious about this is I'm kind of looking at his profile, and very similar to Johnson from Notre Dame.
Oh, Tay Johnson.
Yeah, there's 2 players he's comped to again. One of them's really good, Nick Emanwari.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
The other one, you want to guess who the other one is that he's comped to?
God. I don't even know, bro.
Lewis Cine, once again. I'm not even
Bro,
joking.
are you actually kidding?
No, they had 76% to Lewis Cine, 74% to Emanwari. So serious.
That is the most bro,
It might be just a cop out, Oh, you like this player?
Scene,
yeah, he's comped to Cine.
Scene is just like the prototypical safety prospect, apparently.
No, I mean funnily enough, he was really good. He just kind of snapped his leg in half right away during his rookie season, and it just.
So maybe it wasn't even his fault. Maybe being compared to Scene is good.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, maybe.
Well,
maybe it's fine.
maybe because there's 2 of them compared to Scene. One will turn out like Scene, and one will turn out like the other good.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now we just had to figure out what one.
Yeah, which one?
But yeah, he seems like a very interesting player. Obviously, he's coming to that lineage of LSU safeties who feel usually we're pretty good, like with Tyrann Mathieu, and then for the last couple years they were bad, and then obviously last year was really good. And Halsey was really, really good for me. I thought he was a great player. You're thinking hopefully he can replicate that and kind of just continue that. So he'll be definitely interesting to watch out for, especially since I think LSU will probably be one of my natty contenders this year.
Oh yeah, they're going to be good.
So yeah, I'll get into Peyton Bowen really quick.
Yeah.
Peyton Bowen is a guy from Oklahoma. He'll be 23 during draft season next year. 6 foot, 201 with 4.45 reported 40. He's a 78.6 grade this year, 77.3 run defense grade, 72.1 tackling grade, and a 76.8 coverage grade. And he was a really, really big player for Oklahoma and Venables in his recruiting class. In 2023, he was a 5-star, 16th player. So he was kind of really, really big out of high school. I think he has elite potential to be a Swiss Army knife threat, honestly. I mean, He has 37 tackles, 6 missed, but 2 interceptions, 6 PBUs, 150 snaps in the slot, around 200 in the box, 321 free safety. I thought he excelled in all those roles, honestly. I thought he had really high highs. He did allow, off of 33 targets, he did allow 25 receptions, so almost all of them were caught on him for 368 yards and 5 touchdowns. He has to get a hold of that for sure. But I think his ceiling plays are insanely good. And if he fixes that with Venables, who is one of the best defensive coaches in college football,
Right.
I think, kind of like Kelly Jones in a sense, it's hard to ignore what he's good at. Like I said, great on-ball production. He makes explosive plays all over the field, and his best plays are better than they're as good as anybody else. I mean,
Okay. All right.
like you watch him, and it's like. Honestly, like, not saying that their plays are comparable, but it's like kind of the same way I felt about watching Caleb Downs, where obviously this guy is nowhere near as rounded out and as safe as Caleb Downs is, and that's why Downs is so good. But you look at this guy's ceiling plays, and you're like, holy shit, like that was a really, really freaky NFL level play.
Cool.
And I just think deep coverage, man, it's kind of frying him right now. 5 touchdowns allowed, almost 400 yards. That's what he needs to get better at. You can tell he's more comfortable. Closer to the line of scrimmage, but if you want to be drafted high as a safety and excel in the role that he is in at Oklahoma, you need to play deep safety better, just honestly. His size could be a little bit better, 6 foot, 201. The weight's obviously okay, but you can't play closer to the line of scrimmage in the NFL and be that light. So
right.
he either needs to get bigger and stay on the line of scrimmage or get better at zone and probably still put on a little bit of weight. But either way, I just think his ceiling is really, really good. I think he has first-round potential on him because of that.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, he's probably looking more of a day 2 player right now. But, man, that ceiling is pretty good. So Peyton Bowen from Oklahoma, I think he's definitely a name to watch out for. Venables produces defensive talents all the time. Always scary, freaky players. It feels like if a good guy is on defense at Oklahoma, it's always like they're not just like good, but they're like scary. They're imposing. They're hard hitting. It's like it kind of always seems that way to me. Probably because they just blitz all the time.
Mason Thomas.
Exactly what I'm thinking of. Even like Julian Neal, I feel like he was just truly shut down at sometimes. No, he was Arkansas.
Julian Neal was Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's okay. I mean, they have similar uniforms.
They had a corner. Did they not have a corner last year?
They did. I'm blanking on his name.
I feel like they had a corner I liked.
They did. They had a corner. I don't know if you watched him. I'm trying to. What's his name, bro? It's gonna piss me off when you say it. I'm pretty sure there was one.
I don't know if there was.
Bro, do we know ball?
No, we definitely don't.
I don't think we know ball, bro. I'm pretty sure there was a corner, bro.
Probably just thinking of Julian Neal because their uniforms are like exactly the same.
Yeah, they were very similar.
They either way, they have really, really good players they do. And Venables blitzing as much as he does, it honestly probably gives the illusion that maybe they're scarier than they actually are. So maybe that's a little bit of a trap I'm falling into.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think Bowen's just that good. So unless you have anything to say about him, you can finish up with your 2 guys. And
I think the Oklahoma guys always kind of get a little underrated. Like, I feel like that was the same way with some of their players in this last class. They dropped a little bit. It'll be interesting to see where Bowen goes and how good of a season he has. But yeah, interested to watch him. I'm definitely going to watch his tape because he sounds interesting. But yeah, I'm going to end with I have 2 more safeties. I will start with Jackson Benny out of Utah. This is a guy that really only PFF is really high on, and for that reason I watched him because I was like, I want to see why they like him so much. And honestly, I wasn't super impressed. I kind of thought he was like he was like. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think I'm thinking of Robert Spears Jennings. He wasn't drafted high, but that dude
Robert Spears Jennings. He was
Billy
good.
Bowman, Danny Stuntsman. I don't know why. I was just blanking on these names. And then don't they have a deep? Didn't they have a deep? I'm like 90% sure they did. Let me look at my list. Sorry I interrupted you. That's what I'm thinking of.
No, who is their tackle, bro? I know what you're talking about.
Not their tackle, their DT.
That's what I'm saying. They're DT.
Right.
Bro.
David Stone.
David Stone.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, but I was just like...
No, you're good. You're good. I was trying to think of players, too, because I knew there was more from Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Jackson Benny, he is really high on PFF, so I wanted to see a little bit more about him. He's definitely prototypical strong safety. Build, he's 6'2", 190 pounds. I think about 20 years old. I'm not completely sure. And he's pretty solidly productive. He had 66 tackles, 4 interceptions, 4 PBUs, 1 touchdown allowed. He had a 74.1 overall grade with an 81.5 coverage grade, 64.9 run defense grade, and a 49 tackle grade, which is where he really falls off for me. Not a great tackler, which for me as a safety, that's like one of my biggest things is you need to be a sure tackler. You are, that is what you are called, is a safety. But I mean, he has the abilities. He's 20 years old. He still has time to develop. He is a turnover machine. 4 interceptions, like I said, 4 PBUs. Good with pass breakups. Good hand fighter. Good ability with his length. He's 6'2". He has good length. He's a fierce downfield runner and pursuer, which I think kind of contributes to his missed tackles because he kind of over pursues at times. He's extremely versatile. Plays ample snaps in the box, free safety and slot. But yeah, his biggest thing is he needs to improve his tackling. If he can improve his tackling, I really think he could move up draft boards. And I see where PFF is coming from, having like they have him as a first rounder. I don't see that now.
Yeah, that seems very rich, but
PFF is very like they lock onto a guy and they love him.
Yeah.
And I do not see that right now with Jackson Bene, especially with like his worst games were against the best teams they played. Like he played really bad against Texas Tech. He had an interception, but other than that, it was not good. And he just doesn't have like the athleticism either. He's projected 4.5, 240. Like it's okay, but I don't see any of the elite traits that you would like to see for a first rounder. I mean, he has good length, solid production. That's about it. He needs to have a really good year for me to move him up very much. I would currently say he's a late day 2, maybe day 3 pick. Because I think he could potentially be like a role player. But I'm not seeing what PFF's seeing right now.
Well, it looks like he's kind of consensusly like a 5th to 6th round pick.
Right. I don't know why PFF is so high on him. I mean, and that's the other.
They try and bet on guys.
Yeah, they do. They really do. And like I said, I think if he has a really, really good season, he could move up. But I don't. From what I've seen on tape, he has his highlight plays, but he has a lot of lows. And he didn't really have a presence as a freshman. He only had 9 total snaps. On Utah, and Utah's like, they're fine. But yeah, Jackson Bene, I guess a name to watch, but definitely don't see him how PFF sees him. I see him more as how other databases see him, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I will talk about Adon Shuler, who is the other Notre Dame safety. And Adon Shuler I like a little bit more than Jackson Bene. And yeah, he's, like I said, the second in the tandem with Tay Johnson for Notre Dame. I thought he was young, but actually he's a veteran. He's consistent veteran presence on this Irish secondary. He has prototypical speed and run defense technique that I think NFL scouts will like, along with great tackling, really solid coverage skills, good hand fighting techniques. He had 57 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 3 PBUs last season with 1 touchdown allowed. Pretty solid stats. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds, not even 21 years old yet. I have him about 20 and a half, a little bit over.
Well, he's a veteran?
I think this is his 3rd year. He started early.
Damn, maybe he committed when he was like 17.
Yeah, because he has 14, almost 1,500 career snaps, and he's not even 21.
Okay, yeah, wow.
Which I really like. So he's a veteran, but he's also not old, which is kind of why I was confused at first because I had heard he was not super old, but then I looked on his database and he's a 4th year player. It's like, okay. But yeah, 75.7 overall grade. He had a 72.1 in 2024, so consistent. 70.3 run defense grade, 75.8 coverage grade. My biggest thing for him is he needs to improve his tackling. 63.7 grade, 17.4% missed. So the last 2 guys were kind of just guys that really have some things they need to improve on. But yeah, he's also really versatile. He plays the box, free safety slot. He's played defensive line and corner. He plays everywhere.
Line?
Yeah, he played defensive line snaps. I think he had like 20 to 30 snaps at defensive line.
What the hell?
It was like ridiculous. He played like an edge or something. Like and that's,
Okay, never mind. I was thinking like D tackle.
no no no
He's
no
probably
no,
like
no.
as an edge, like a rushing. I was
Yeah,
like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah,
Probably,
yeah, yeah.
just like blitzing.
Because
Okay,
he had two sacks.
yeah,
But yeah, the biggest things for him, tackling need to be improved. He has pretty average physical measurables. I mean, 205, 6 foot. We've seen that a lot. I think that's pretty average for a NFL safety. And then he also allows more than 50% of his targets on average. Like he was solid at coverage grade, but like he allowed a pretty good amount of yards and catches. Experiences up and down throughout the year, but this is a guy that I think you could also watch. It's going to be fun to watch this tandem with him and Tay Johnson because these are both prospects that I think could be pretty solid in the NFL. So to watch them play together will be interesting. But yeah, I don't have much more to say. Aiden Schuler, be on the lookout for him. Hopefully he'll improve this year in his 4th year. And yeah, I think that's all I have for safeties. I don't know if you have anything you want to add.
No, I mean nothing with safeties. No one else that I watched. Obviously Schuler. Once again, Notre Dame safety. You know, expect big thing. I mean, if he's that experienced and that young, that's definitely going to catch somebody's eye and be like, "That's what we
For
want
sure.
right there." That's just their type of player. So interesting to watch him. Seems like they're going to have a really good defensive back room just in total.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
like 3 guys that are probably going in the first 3 rounds. So that's really cool to see for them. But yeah, overall, man, I think it's a pretty decent class.
I do
don't
too.
think it's as good as some of the top classes. I think it definitely gets overshadowed by like the wide receivers and maybe the edges, but
And the quarterbacks, yep.
there's still some really, really good players in this class. And I mean, there's a lot of guys that I didn't watch because I think there's going to be 3rd, 4th, 5th rounders who in a good class might be even further. But I mean, like some of these guys I just want to touch on. Terry Moore, right away, you know, he was at Duke, really, really good safety. I think he tore his ACL last year. I'm transferring to Ohio State. I mean, man, do they produce good safeties? I mean, I think
maybe.
so. So
I don't know.
he could rise a ton. Jamari Sharp, corner at Indiana.
Yep.
You know, obviously Signetti gets the most out of a lot of guys, so he could obviously have a really big year. Jair Hill at Michigan. Do they have any good corners recently? I can't really think. No, obviously he could follow the lineage of like Will Johnson and guy from the Commanders.
Emmanuel Forbes.
No, he's the other. He's a Michigan corner.
Sainristil?
Yeah, Sainristil, Mikey Sainristil. Marcus Neal Jr. Transferred to Penn State following this coach from Iowa State. I know he was really big, I think 2 years ago, injured. Earl Little Jr., another safety that transferred to Iowa State. He was at FSU. He's somebody to look out for. I actually think I watched him like a year ago because I think he could have committed a year ago, and I remember liking him like a pretty decent amount. So if he does good at Ohio State, man, Ohio State has some damn good corners.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they have Jalen McClain. He's another guy who's pretty solid overall. Earl Little, Terry Moore, and then not to mention their corners are always pretty damn decent.
Right.
I know Devin Sanchez is like an elite out of high school. Wow, it's almost like Ohio State's pretty damn good. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like maybe good.
Yeah, like maybe a little. But
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are just some of the names. I'm just kind of scrolling down this list just to kind of shout out a few guys. Coy Parrish, obviously a big one. Breaks my heart that he transferred, but I mean, Oregon, obviously, you know, they just had. It feels like they always have good safeties. They just have Biederman, and if they get the most out of him, then he can probably be pretty good. The damn site's frozen. AJ Harris, I know, was really, really good at Penn State like 2 years ago. Kind of had a down year this year with everybody else, but he transferred to Indiana. I think he's somebody to look out for. Eli Bowen, the brother of Peyton Bowen at Oklahoma as well, corner. I know he's somebody to look out for. I think they're kind of placed similarly. I don't think he's as good, but definitely, you know, another guy in this system that I think can perform really, really well with Venables being their coach. Jermaine Matthews Johnson. Or Jermaine Matthews Jr. Sorry, not Johnson. The corner at Ohio State. One of these guys I'm talking about. I know he is somebody that gets a lot of hype from Ohio State fans and just a lot of other people. Tao Johnson, the safety, he was at Utah, transferred to UCLA. Not to get confused with Tay Johnson.
Not to be confused with Tay Johnson.
Earlier. Xavier Mincy, Bama's like 3rd safety. He's pretty good. Obviously kind of like more of a fill-in player right now, but I mean, let's be real, we talked about the two safeties in front of him today being really high draft picks, so maybe just kind of
and we saw with Damani Jackson, they can still get drafted. Like
exactly.
There's NFL scouts that will draft them.
Yeah, so I mean, I just think there's a lot of guys here, you know, and I kind of just talked about the names that I've heard of. You know, I skipped over a lot of guys that are kind of on, that fourth, fifth, sixth round range who, some of these guys are going to fall for sure. Most of them probably will, but a lot of these guys could definitely rise. So I think it's going to be a really interesting class. I think there's going to be some big risers, some really big risers. Definitely, like always, there will be some big fallers too.
For sure.
But no, man, I think if you need corner safety, especially corner, it's a good year to need.
I was going to say, I think the corner class is a lot stronger than the safety class.
Definitely. But, I mean, we're talking about Xavier Brown, Kelly Jones, Ellis Robinson, Leonard Moore, Chris Peel, Bryce Pollock as all guys that could be first-round picks, not to mention so many more. It's like,
for sure,
if you're kind of picking at the top of the second, you're probably getting a guy you're
Definitely. Well, and the other thing is,
man,
we talk about some of these guys as first round potential. There's 100% going to be some of these guys that fall into the second round, and someone's going to get a steal.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing with this class.
Every year with DBs, man.
Yeah.
Every year they always fall, and
just
always steals.
2027 in general, with how many good prospects there are. Like, there's going to be good prospects that are left in the second, third, fourth, maybe even fifth round, that just fall because the class is so good. I'm sure that will happen to some of these DBs. Like, if we're talking about 6 DBs with first round potential, there's no way all of them go in the first round.
I don't even know if 2 of them will. Honest to God, Leonard Moore and probably the better of Xavier and Ellis Robinson is going to be the only 2 ones that get drafted in the first, if I really had to guess, because it's such a good class.
Right.
And they don't get valued anyways. I mean, we saw Thieneman dropping as far as he did in a really weak class.
Right.
I mean, Vikings, he's the perfect fit for the Vikings, and they didn't even take him. Teams just hate to take these safeties, it seems. So, we'll see. I think there'll be some really interesting draft storylines, some really good season storylines. And we probably should have done this with other videos, but really, really just like, if you had to shout out who you think is going to be the Thorpe winner this year, you think the guy here that's going to get this award, I think this is a little interesting exercise we can do right now. Who is the guy that you're going to shout out? Somebody we talked about today. Could be a safety, could be...
Man, I'm trying to think who's going to be in the best. Are you going to say Pollock? No.
Yes.
You are? Okay.
I think with his production and with the fact that Texas Tech could easily go 12-0, and the fact that he could be maybe their best defensive player and they can make a splash, I think he's going to be all over national headlines, and he's also just damn good. I'm pushing even more shifts in on him, baby.
That's
he's
fair, dude.
He's a Thorpe winner.
I would say, I mean, I don't want to go boring with Leonard Moore. I think he's really good. I think he's the obvious pick. I'm not going to go with him because he's the obvious pick. I want to have a fun pick. Man, I'm trying to think, dude. I could honestly see like Xavier Brown moving up, or
for sure.
I mean, man, I'm trying to.
If he gets his head around.
Yes, if he gets his head around, bro, definitely. I definitely think that who's the other guy we were talking about?
Hubbard is another sneaky one, man.
Well, Kelly Jones, like you said, I think Kelly Jones could move up there. I think the biggest thing for Kelly Jones is that he's not on a great team. It's going to be tough. I think you kind of have to be on a good team to get that kind of recognition. So if I had to pick, I would say Leonard Moore, Bryce Pollock, or I think KJ Bolden.
All right, pick one.
I'm gonna. All right. I'm gonna say KJ Bolden, low key. I think KJ Bolden.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that. All right. I mean, you kind of chickened out with the easy route, took a hiring guy,
Yeah. I mean, I like KJ Bolden, man. I think KJ Bolden is gonna be,
No, that's fair though. It's a good class though. So yeah, thanks for doing this exercise with me, man. I think the next video we will be doing is probably way too early mock draft. We just talked about a lot of these guys. I think we're gonna mock draft them. I know we did not cover linebackers, tackles, O-line, and what was the other position? Tight ends. But it's kind of because all those classes are just weak.
Yep.
And me and Isaac here, we want to get to new content in a sense.
Right.
We're having fun with this, but it kind of doesn't make sense to make a video for those groups, we feel. But we'll obviously talk about some of the top guys in the mock draft, I'm sure. And we'll talk about them when we do the team preview. So if you're kind of wondering who the top guys there, just tune into those videos and we'll definitely shout them out.
For sure.
But I think we'll hit you with the mock draft, a way too early mock draft, maybe make some bold predictions. And then we'll get into probably college team rankings, college
team rankings. Yep. Yeah, so I think we were talking about a pre-video. We're going to do the mock draft. Hopefully we'll do that Thursday. We'll have that out pretty shortly after this video. It'll be pretty quick turnaround because I know we had you guys waiting for a while for this video. Do the quick turnaround video, and then we're going to, like Cam said, we're going to do college team rankings. We're going to go through each conference. We're going to see over-under wins. We're going to kind of pick and choose
shout
who
out
we think.
Players.
Yep. Shout out players, shout out teams. And then I think we're going to do the same thing for the NFL after. So we're going to go through divisions. We're going to do over-unders. And we're going to maybe even do a top 100 players list because we both don't agree with the top 100 list that the NFL is currently publishing.
Oh, for sure. And I love ranking players, man.
Yeah, it's really fun. So we might do that later in the summer. But yeah, we have a lot of content lined up for you guys. So if you really like this, subscribe, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of stuff out, hopefully. So, but yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's always fun. And we will catch you guys in the next video. This is the Neutral Zone.